Good afternoon, Your Honor. Tin Ho on behalf of the people.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I will be providing the factual basis in regards to counts 2 and 3 as it relates to Brian and Katie Maggiore. Brian Maggiore was stationed at Mather Air Force Base and had recently married Katie. Shortly after 9 p.m. on February the 2nd, 1978, they took their poodle for a walk eastbound on La Alegria Drive, located in the city of Rancho Cordova in the county of Sacramento. In the days leading up to February the 2nd, 12 homes in the immediate area reported incidents consistent with classic East Area rapist prowling activities. This area was within a mile of multiple ear sexual assaults. Around 9 p.m., 17-year-old Benny P. was jogging northbound on West La Loma. He saw Brian and Katie walking west on La Alegria with their dog towards him. Benny described seeing a white male wearing a brown padded jacket hiding in the dark near some bushes in front of a house on the opposite side of the street. Benny kept jogging north. As Brian and Katie continued walking, they would have encountered this white male. Minutes later, Brian and Katie Maggiore ended up in the backyard of a home located on La Gloria Way, being chased by the defendant, Joseph DeAngelo. 13-year-old David K. was hanging out on the second floor of his home when he heard a gunshot. Looking out his second-story window into his backyard, David saw Joseph DeAngelo run across an opening where the fence had fallen because of a recent storm into his neighbor's yard. The defendant fired his handgun as he ran towards the patio area, where he fired another shot that struck Brian. The bullet entered Brian's upper chest and tore through his trachea before entering the spinal canal and exiting the body. When the defendant fired this fatal shot, he did so unlawfully and with malice forethought. The defendant's decision to kill Brian Maggiore was willful, deliberate, and premeditated, as evidenced by his pursuit of the victims, the defendant firing multiple shots as he pursued them, and his choice to target vital parts of Brian's body. While her husband was being murdered, Katie fled down the east side of the house. The homeowner, Nicholas O., heard a woman screaming, "Help me, help me." Katie reached the side gate, but it was locked. As she frantically tried to escape, the defendant caught up and shot Katie from behind to the top of her head. When the defendant fired this fatal shot, he did so unlawfully and with malice forethought. The defendant's decision to kill Katie Maggiore was willful, deliberate, and premeditated, as evidenced by the fact that he had already killed Brian, but he chose to also pursue and eliminate the only remaining person who had seen him. Joseph DeAngelo made the cold and calculated decision to kill Katie, and chose to do so by selecting a fatal location to shoot, the top of her head. Upon hearing the gunshots, 16-year-old Carl N. ran to his front yard and saw Joseph DeAngelo jump over the gate where Katie had just been shot. The defendant was now wearing a ski cap-type mask, a brown military jacket, and holding a gun. DeAngelo began his frantic escape from the area, running through the winding streets and hopping fences. Deputies found pre-tied shoelaces just a few feet away from Brian Maggiore's body. Nicholas O. told the deputies that the shoelaces did not belong to him. These shoelaces, which had been dropped, were pre-tied with a granny knot, allowing for quick cinching. Shoelaces using the same knots were used in many of the East Area rapist incidents. Joseph DeAngelo sexually assaulted Jane Doe number 13 4 months later in San Ramon. He stole a bicycle that he used to arrive at and escape from that sexual assault scene. Next to where the bicycle had been stolen, detectives found a drop pair of pre-tied shoelaces.
Thank you, counsel. Defense counsel wish to be heard as to the factual basis?
No, Your Honor.
Regarding count 2, it is the charge of murder of Katie Maggiore. Am I pronouncing that correctly, counsel?
Maggiore.
Maggiore, my apologies. Maggiore. That count currently charges an open-ended murder with the allegation that you acted willfully, deliberately, and with premeditation when you unlawfully, with malice aforethought, murdered Katie Maggiore, which occurred February 2nd, 1978, in the County of Sacramento, a violation of Penal Code Section 187, Paren A, murder in the first degree. How do you plead to that, sir?
Guilty.
There's also an allegation that you personally used a firearm in the course of that murder, violation of Penal Code Section 12022.5. Do you admit or deny that?
I admit.
Regarding count 3, charge of murder of Brian Maggiore. That count currently charges an open-ended murder to the allegation that you acted willfully, deliberately, and with premeditation when you unlawfully, with malice aforethought, murdered Brian Maggiore, which occurred on February 2nd, 1978, in the County of Sacramento, a violation of Penal Code Section 187, Paren A, that's murder in the first degree. How do you plead to that, sir?
Guilty.
Also an allegation that you personally used a firearm in the course of that murder, which is a violation of Penal Code Section 12022.5. Do you admit or deny that?
I admit.
Further alleged in counts 2 through 13 that you did commit multiple murders within the meaning of Penal Code Section 190.2, Paren A, Paren 3, and of the Penal Code Section 190.2, Paren C, Paren 5. Do you admit the multiple murder special circumstance? Do you admit or deny?
I admit.
Counsel?